I used to be able to make that jump, no problem. Hey everybody, Kyle here with Spicer Designs. Hold that thought. The wife just sent me something risque. Downloading. Oh, forget it. I don't even care anymore. Welcome back to the channel. That's right. My internet sucks. About 12 megabytes per second to be exact. Actually, let's test that out. There's a website you can go to. I'm not on Wi-Fi right now. We'll do that later. So currently I'm paying 80... Hey, get out of there. Get out of there. Currently, I am paying $83 a month for internet, which is 12 megabytes per second at best. The upload speed is almost nothing. It takes me about 10 hours to upload a video. I've actually been uploading them lately using my hotspot on my Verizon phone. And I can't get any other internet out here. There's none available. My neighbor just got fiber, but he's the end of the row. I begged the company. I told him I would trench the line, I'd pay for the line, whatever, to get it over here. And they would not do it. So I'm stuck with one last option, which was highly suggested by most of you that view the channel, and that is Starlink. Finally bought it. I've had this for about a month and a half now. I got a mounting bracket. Let's take a look at this. So this is the residential setup. It's got a little kickstand. And this thing is like 2 foot by about maybe 16 inches. It just looks like a freaking serving tray. You could fit about a case of Keystone on that thing. I've actually done it. Works pretty good. And here are the instructions. You download an app, blah, blah, blah. You find your angles. It shows you how to hook everything up. It's honestly a pretty cut and dry system, but this is a DIY system. No one's going to come out and install this for you. I mean, I'm sure you could find a service that will do that, but Starlink, the company, is not going to come out and install this for you. And here's the mounting bracket. It is a stanchion mount. This will mount somewhere like that, and it'll mount on a 2-inch piece of pipe. That's the way we're going to do it. But we're not going to be needing any of this today. What we need to do today is some prep work so that we can install that thing. So here's the mess that I'm working on now. The plan is to mount the Starlink up this antenna tower. Right up there at the same height as that dish. I'll be removing that dish, mounting the Starlink satellite right at that same height, and it's going to be facing this way, which is pretty much north. Now the way you figure out which way to point the Starlink, they have an app. You can download the app whether you have Starlink or not. It will tell you which way to point your phone. Pretty much you're going to want to point it north, and then you kind of spin around with it. It locates all the satellites. It locates any obstructions on your property, like a tree or your house or, I don't know, a billboard. And it kind of tells you basically if you have an opening and if it's okay to mount it in that certain spot that maybe you have in mind. So this antenna tower is really the perfect spot for me to mount mine. There's an antenna on there that I do not use. That's roughly about 40 feet up in the air. We're going to be about 30 foot, and I am going to be scaling this antenna tower, so that should be interesting. All right, we're going to jump down here. This is an ongoing landscaping project. It's been coming together. Got the solar panels pretty much done except for tidying up some wires. I've got the aerator. What I'm going to do with that is pour a little concrete pad right here so I can remount the aerator enclosure and get that fired up again. You'll notice there's a conduit sticking up out of there now. I had it temporarily powered up with an extension cord. Now I have a conduit inside there. It'll be a permanent outlet inside of the enclosure. And you can see another conduit right there in the ground. Both of these run up here. You can see them right here. And they go into this junction box. From this junction box, it's going to come up through this hole right here. This is like my skirt board. That way I don't have to drill through the concrete. And that is going to be a 1-inch for a future hot tub, which I already have a conduit stubbed out past the landscaping. I did all that before I redid that rock wall and the stone. So that's already stubbed out for the future hot tub and any other kind of electrical power that I'll need out by the pond. And then I have a 3/4, which goes to the aerator. And then over here, this was the conduit I ran for the Wi-Fi through the woods right over there out to the shop. I went ahead and put this junction box in there, so I have 2 conduits coming in, 1 coming up and goes into the house. That is where the communication cable for the Starlink is going to come out of the house, come down underground, cuts across right here, and I have it stubbed up to an LB. I'm going to turn that LB and run it up the antenna tower all the way up to that satellite. That way all the wire will be nice and concealed and protected. Should be a nice clean setup. I don't even know if it's safe to climb that tower. Anyways, that is the plan. I know it was a lot of talking, but I just want you to know what the plan is. Now we're gonna just kind of move right through it and we'll get this thing hooked up.
Slow down, mama, why you talk so mean? Good Lord, Nashville, it ain't what it seems. Got a nice tunes and homemade booze, but it always goes too far. Shooting pool, crack a jack, take off now and don't look back. But hey, don't you wanna play? Hold on, sugar.
All right, we're gonna get that design cut on the Langmuir Crossfire Pro CNC plasma table. And we're gonna be using some 12 gauge mild steel. That should be plenty for this thing. I need to come up with a better system. If you are interested in a plasma table like this, you can get this exact one for under $5,000 shipped to your house, and you can make a load of money with it. And the CAD software I use with this is Fusion. It is my favorite CAD software. It's the only one I really know, but I love it and it works really well. I will have links for both Fusion and the table in the description. And if you use my promo code Spicer Designs, it'll save you $100. Whoop-de-doo. Oh boy. This is where things are going to get interesting because I'm going to attempt to climb that antenna tower right up to where that dish is, probably right at the top of what you could see in this frame. Just kind of tickling it, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. It might not look like much, but that is about 30 foot up on a skinny little antenna tower that I have no idea who put it in, how deep it is. I have an idea of how deep it is, but you know. So in order to do this, I purchased a arborist rope. This is a 1/2 inch 12 strand rope, and I got I think it's called a bucking strap. By no means can I even fake this. I have no freaking clue what I'm talking about when it comes to arborist climbing gear. This is going to allow me to strap it on to my harness, lean back so I can have both hands free to do work. And then I have this climbing harness that I haven't even pulled out of the bag yet. No idea how to use any of it, and the only reason I have a slight clue on what I needed is because of Jake from Dude Ranch DIY. He kind of filled me in. I watched some videos of his where it showed all of his climbing gear, and by no means is this what he told me to do. I kind of just took what he said and watched some stuff on the internet and just kind of bought what I needed to get by for right now. Jake is doing it right over there, and I'll leave a link for his channel down in the description. Oh yeah, and a couple of carabiners. These are rated for climbing. That is very important. So right now I just want to attempt to climb up and get all my rigging set up so I know what I'm doing, and then I'll mount the mount for the Starlink and we'll get this thing installed. I will say, if you want to save some money on a project, the safety gear is a good place to save money. I mean, it's only your life, right? This is like a $60 harness. I think the one that Jake sent me was like $400 or $500. I'm not doing that much climbing. I don't even know what freaking end to put my legs in. What the hell? I used to wear freaking harnesses all the time in the man lift. They weren't like this, but I'm not a lineman. The linemen, they work with this kind of gear too. I was an inside wireman. We don't mess with this shit. Great, this thing's gonna cradle up on the old satchel here pretty good. I'm thinking, did I get the right size? Oh, great. You can see my moose knuckle. How am I gonna get out? I might be wearing this thing to bed. I think I got a freaking testy pinched in between it. Got it.
This one holds your body, and this is for climbing up and down the tree. This one is for, so you never switch them out. Okay, spurs. Yes. So I got spurs. These are a basic set of.
Oh boy. I'm all right, this here is called a monkey's fist. I don't think that I did it right. It looks like crap. It's holding together, and I can chuck this thing up there. It's a saddle, not a harness. I screwed up. The idea is to get this higher than that dish up there. I don't know if I can do that. Oh, that was actually not bad. I think I'm just gonna have to freaking climb it. Oh, I can't even get it to the freaking roof. I'm putting too much trust in this shit. I would rather climb that damn tree again. That was way higher. Just keep going. Don't be a Sally. She's getting wobbly. Going one more. This is the highest I've ever been on this thing. Holy sh! Trust the equipment. Oh, one more, baby. This is not fun. I don't know if I need the lifeline, but I think it's a nice little bit of security, just knowing that I'm at least tied off to the tower that's falling down. Now I gotta figure out how to tie it. All right, I think I have this figured out after watching a couple YouTube videos. I'm not even going to begin to try to explain this because I have no idea what I'm talking about. And this is not a video about arborist climbing gear. So got my carabiner on my saddle. I've got a clove hitch on my carabiner right here. And I have what is referred to as a Blake's knot right here, which I can ascend and descend. Then I have a figure 8 stopper knot on this so this doesn't come undone. And this is, I guess, considered a lifeline. So as I climb, I can continue to adjust this, and if I were to slip and fall, it would catch me, which I'm going to try that out here at a lower level and make sure that it works the way I think it's going to, because I've never done this before. What a freaking contraption. I don't know how the hell these guys... Jake, how do you do this every day? So we're just going to get up a little bit here. Then we have to pull on this and keep it tight and slide our Blake's fist, or Blake's knot, whatever the hell it is, up. Damn, that thing bites. Okay, if I were to fall... Oh, wow. That does not feel very comfortable. I think I have my saddle set up wrong. Yeah, I think I know why this saddle was so cheap. But you can see that this is really got the nuts grouped up there pretty good. So if I were to fall, this is what would happen. And then if I want to descend, I could just pull on the Blake's knot. Ah, there we go. There we go. Oh yeah, this is embarrassing. All right, I have to go start deep frying some alligator tails. That's what we're having for dinner tonight.
Alligator. You guys gonna try some alligator?
Probably not.
Yeah, you are.
All right, it's a couple days later. I ran the conduit almost all the way up to the height that I need, and then it got dark out, so I had to quit. And then the next day, it rained all day long, but that was okay because I got all the inside stuff done. I didn't record any of that, but I'll go through everything with you here in a little bit once we get this wrapped up. And I picked up a chest mount for the action camera, my DJI Action 4, so you can get a real life point of view nipple cam. And I picked up a Husky service bag. I would typically use something like this for like electrical service calls, but I threw a carabiner on it, and there's little extra mounting loops on the back of the saddle for stuff like this. So I'm gonna hang it behind me. That way I can climb up. I don't have all my crap in my freaking pocket anymore. So I think I'm ready to go. I have something similar to this in the bedroom. Just mount somewhere else. Oh, God. All right, I'm gonna throw you on a time lapse. I'll get that pipe wrapped up, and then I'll take you up with me with the chest cam, and we'll actually get the Starlink mounted with the bracket that I made. All right, it is time to climb. So we got this set up here in 2 stages. First one, we're gonna take the bracket up, get it mounted. Second stage, we'll take up the actual Starlink dish and get that mounted, and that'll be it. I'm gonna have this on my head instead of my chest because the lifeline was gonna be right in front of it on my chest. And these are those brackets I cut on the CNC plasma table. I've got a U-bolt connected to the stanchion on the antenna tower, and then I have a mini here to connect to the conduit, and this all runs on the inside of the antenna tower. So it looks fairly clean. You can see when I stand underneath this thing, it's a good ways up there. It's actually not quite 30 foot. It's just under. It's not really too bad, but it just seems higher than it is. I mean, 30 foot's no joke. The lifeline slows you down, but man, is it nice. Nice peace of mind. And it makes it a lot easier going down too. I think that turkey vulture thinks I might die. It took me a couple times climbing this tower to kind of trust it. Yeah, I don't know who the hell put this thing up. Sure, you can see how mucky that pond looks right now. Yeah. I'll tell you what, this tower is really shaking. This is going to be close to our working area. Don't need that. He was an eyesore. Now we can pull up the bracket. Finally. I'd like to leave this tied off. This is more work than I thought it was going to be. That is for sure. I know I'm grunting a lot. I'm aware. This isn't a normal electrical makeup right here, but I'm just kind of making do with what I got right now. Normally I'd have a little piece of seal tight, but honestly, that's probably too tight of a radius. This is a 45-meter cable, and this is the Starlink cable. And this is definitely what I would recommend using. It's got like a little rain jacket edge right here to kind of weatherproof that connection. And then you can see it's got metal on there, which probably has some kind of built-in like grounding for any kind of lightning strikes or anything. We should be ready for the Starlink antenna now. All right, now we're on the Starlink app, and you can get this app even before you have Starlink just to make sure that you do have clear signal. We'll hit start setup, get the standard setup, confirm, check for obstructions, saying to find an open area. All right, I'm ready. All right, point your camera up. Whoa, check that out. And scan the entire sky. So we're just scanning around. Kind of where it's gonna be. And you just keep scanning. Okay. All right, and then right there it shows you where all of our obstructions are. The biggest obstruction is going to be the antenna right above it. We're gonna set it up right here. We are pipe adapter mount. Mount is installed. So it's telling us it wants to be slightly northeast. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to move it, and then I'll go down and try this thing out. Hopefully I don't have to come back up again. It's already set at the right angle because of that mount, so I'm gonna get out my compass on my phone and point it just slightly northeast now. That's 30 degrees northeast right there. Well, that's not too bad. Let it smack in the mud. Oh boy. And let's get out of here. All right, let's go turn this thing on. All right, I'm here in the mechanical room. Got the Anker Solix F3800s with the home power panel. This has been a great backup system so far. If you haven't seen that video, I got a couple of videos on this, but I will be doing an update soon. And like always, I will have some links down in the description. Here is the backup panel. This is a new panel that is fed from the backup power system. You'll see why I'm telling you this in a second. And this is the panel that I installed. I still have to do some cleanup work over here on the original panel that I did not install. I ran an outlet out of here for this little AV area right here. So I bought some little AV shelves, and I cut a piece of plywood, mounted that to it, and I bought a 8-port switch right there, and I'll leave links for everything in the description. I plan on getting a small UPS for this shelf that'll plug into here, and then everything else will plug into it. I have it on order right now, it's just not here yet. Then here's our Mesh 3 Starlink router, and our cable comes in right here through this PVC, up and over and into the router. And these, I took your guys' advice on the shop Wi-Fi video. These are surge arresters, and they are grounded in case of a lightning strike or something, so I have those in place. One of these goes out to the shop, this one right here, and the other one is going to be for the Ethernet that runs out to the equipment barn where the Keystone Girls gym is going to be. This is the existing internet. This will be disconnected and plugged into the switch eventually, today hopefully. And then this white one comes back from the router and powers the switch. We're going to disconnect that. I put these small little patch cords in the back of the router. There's 2 outputs on the back of the mesh router. On the newer style, they included these 2 ports where you can come out of them and run it to another router, or in this case, a switch. So one of these is going to go directly to the shop and bypass the router. The other one is going to be the input to the router, and it's going to feed everything else in the house. I'm going to plug in Starlink. I see a light right there. Yeah, right there. Alright, I have a clear view. Mount is installed. My Starlink is plugged in. Starlink paired successfully. Your device is connected to Starlink. Next, let's get your Starlink connected to the internet and optimize your setup. While this thing is searching, this little setup is pretty nice and clean. I still have some more tidying up to do once I switch everything over and get the UPS installed, but again, I'll leave links for all that equipment in the description in case you want to set it up similar to that. It's a pretty basic setup. So, all right, it's calculating orientation, software update, 17%, determining alignment, adjustment may be necessary in a moment for best performance. Hopefully, I don't have to adjust it. Overall, I think that that's actually a pretty clean setup there. I got the conduit running up, so the cable's protected. That mount is, I think, pretty nice. Does what it needs to do, and it's up over the trees, so it's got a pretty clear view of everything. This thing's still downloading. Everything's buried underground. I mean, definitely a DIY setup, and there's easier ways to do it than what I did. I'm well aware of that. Well, I'm going to finish getting this thing set up, and I'll fill you in on the details, and then we can go test this thing out. All right, we're out here in the shop. We're going to test the internet out here because it is over 300 foot away from the house. Internet's being ran over on a Cat 6 cable, which I know, should have ran a fiber. Anyways, I'm not getting into that. So what I want to do first is go on the Starlink app and check the speed there, and then we'll check the speed on my phone through the internet. So then I know exactly what I'm getting to my phone where I'm standing. Hardwired to this router, and then I'm using wireless signal now, of course, with that router that's up there. You can kind of see the ears poking out. All right, we'll go on Starlink. Speed test. Kind of low, really low right now. So this is what's weird about Starlink, is it just fluctuates like crazy. It's never just the same amount of download or upload speed throughout the day. It is an overcast day right now. It was actually raining just a little bit ago, so I know that doesn't help. But even with that, we're still getting almost 50 megabytes per second. I've seen it all the way up to 400 megabytes per second. So usually it's in the 170s. When I say usually, I mean within this past 24 hours since I've installed it, most of the time it's been around 170 or so megabytes per second. Upload speed, 11.4 megabytes per second. Way better. I mean, the upload speed is better than my download speed with my old internet. So my old internet, I did a test on it before I swapped this out, and it was coming in like right around 8 megabytes per second out here in the shop. It's horrible. We'll try running it again, see if it changed. See, there we're already higher. 60, 59. So you can see within a minute of talking, it's already going up. It fluctuates a lot, and I've heard that from other reviews that I've watched as well. Now we'll go to an internet-based speed test. So here we go. This is directly to my phone. 40, 37, 36 megabytes per second. Not the greatest right here. Yeah, it's showing my upload speed is higher than my download speed, which that's not normal. So that tells me that Starlink is fluctuating so much right now. All right, so there we're coming in higher. Now we're at 67 megabytes per second. So you get the point, it fluctuates. I would say today is probably not the best day to test it because there's a lot of overcast. I finished the install last night, so the sunny day that I was installing it isn't the same day that I'm doing the tests. Now, anyone that purchases Starlink, they will give you a referral link that you can send to friends and family, and if they use your link, then you get like a free month. A lot of different companies use that same tactic. So, of course, I'm not affiliated with Starlink, but I do have a referral link. I will leave it in the description. I would greatly appreciate if you do decide to order Starlink to use that referral link. Basically, I would just get a free month of service, and every little bit helps. So with the better internet now, the plan is to start doing live streams. I don't know when we'll do the first one. We might try for something around New Year's. It's going to be a little bit of trial and error. I've never done one before. I know there's a couple different formats and some software that you can use for it, so ours will probably start off pretty basic, and then hopefully I can, improve it as time goes on. But it should be a great opportunity to interact with all of my viewers. I have a lot of people that comment regularly, so I would love to have an interaction there that is live. Anyways, that is going to wrap it up for this project. Another one checked off the list. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Yeah. I don't know how does the tush look? What the hell? Shut up. The f is that, a cat? Get out of there.
So Dozer just found this L. I know exactly where it's from. Our welcome sign. So instead of welcome, it's we come. Pretty funny.
I'm gonna give Elon a call, just see what he's got going on today. Oh, hey, what's up, Elon? How's that rocket going? My dog gets rockets all the time.